If you're making this in a New York apartment, make sure you open all your windows, turn your fans on high, because you will be setting off your fire alarm. It's the sacrifices you gotta make for a good stir fry. Hi, I'm Ham. I'm a chef, professional paraglider, recipe developer, amateur professional wrestler. And today, we're making Arroz Chaufa. Arroz Chaufa is fried rice. Chaufa is a category of hybrid Peruvian Chinese dishes, and while it originated in Peru, you can find it throughout South America. It's a key part of the restaurant scene in all of these places. And something that's on every single table is Arroz Chaufa. The chicken thigh version is the kind that I make most often at home because it's easy to find, it's affordable, and it comes together really, really quickly. So a key part of chaufa and Chinese restaurants in general is the use of a wok. I have like mixed feelings about using a wok at home because it isn't just the pan that makes the wok so effective. The wok burner is what makes wok cooking so special. It looks like a jet engine. You turn it on and it goes whoosh. So that makes the surface of the wok intensely hot. It's about BTUs, and there are no stoves at home with enough BTUs to get the wok hot enough to get you that delicious like wok hay that you get when you're using a proper wok over a proper flame. I like to stir fry in a large cast iron pan. That increased surface area makes sure that whatever I'm stir frying comes into direct contact with a really hot surface. They maintain their heat a lot better, and they're less likely to drop in temperature even if you're putting a lot of things in there. So as long as you keep the heat high, your cast iron hot, and your things moving, I feel like you can get a much better stir fry experience with a large cast iron rather than a wok at home. All right, let's get chaufaing. So anytime you stir fry anything, stir fry is a very quick cooking method. You want to make sure that you have all of your ingredients prepped, cut, ready to go. This is known in the business as mise en place. Wow, big words. I'm going to start with my scallions. I'm going to trim the root. I'm going to slice it thinly, but I'm going to separate them into the whites and greens. So what I mean by white and green, so there's kind of like that really dark green bit, kind of lighter green bit, and then the super white. So I kind of split the difference. So I give the green part some of the light green, and I give the white some of the light green. We're going to thinly slice that. Got the whites of my scallions all ready to go. Thinly slicing my scallions. Now we're gonna cut up our bell pepper. Right now, I'm mincing my ginger. We've got everything mised out, everything cut. The entire time I was cutting things, I had my cast iron preheating on medium heat, so I know it's ripping hot. Splash of oil, swirl to coat, and I'm gonna go in with my eggs. That intense sizzling is what I'm looking for. Season with salt, swirl that around so I get a nice even egg disc. And that almost cooks immediately. I'm going underneath with a spatula and I'm flipping it over so it cooks the other side. And as soon as I give it a kiss on the other side and there's no wetness from raw egg, I'm out of there, baby. I'm out of that pan. I'm gonna wipe my pan out with just a paper towel. I just wanna make sure there's no residual egg in there because that's gonna burn over time. Back up to medium-high heat, and while the pan comes back up to temperature, I'm gonna cut up my eggs into little bits. No need to be super precise here. Rough cubes. Then that goes into my bowl, then I set that aside for later. My pan is smoking again, telling me that I'm ready to go in with the next thing. Splash of oil, swirl to coat, and we're gonna hear a sizzle. There we go. And you wanna keep that moving. We're gonna season that up with a pinch of salt. Since it's so hot, you wanna keep it moving so it cooks evenly. And we're gonna cook this until the peppers are softened and just a little bit charred on the outside. Ooh, we're getting some nice pockets of char. It's a good sign. We're trying to keep this as hot as possible because we're just trying to mimic what it's like to stir fry in a blistering hot wok. So my peppers have softened, they're nice and blistered, they're pockets of char. Out we go. I always like to wipe out my cast iron because if there's anything left over from the previous batch, it is going to burn. In with our oil, swirl to coat. And in we go with our chicons. Flatten that out. Season that with some salt. And let's get that moving and grooving. We're getting some beautiful color on the chicken thighs. All right, our chicken, brown, crisp, cooked through. In we go with the whites of the scallions, garlic, and our ginger. Cook that out. It's gonna get really fragrant. The aromatics are gonna soften. We'll get a hint of char on the outside. At no point have I turned my heat down. I'm rocking on high the whole way through. Hit it with some MSG, totally optional, but in my personal opinion, this does not taste right without it. I think a lot of Chinese food in general does not taste right without that little hit of MSG. Some sugar, white pepper, cumin. Stir that until it's fully incorporated. And now we're gonna add our rice. You wanna make sure you use cooked and cooled rice. That is very, very important. It's how you get the right texture. Stir fry that up with everything that's in the pan, and you wanna make sure that each individual grain is coated in a little bit of fat. If your pan feels a little dry, like mine does right now, I'm gonna add a little bit more oil at this point. I want there to be a nice little sheen to my rice. I'm gonna add the rest of my seasonings. This is sesame oil, and I'm gonna add it around the perimeter of the pan. The soy sauce, I'm also adding it around the perimeter of the pan. That's the hottest part of the pan, and I want it to almost caramelize a little bit. We're just gonna keep stir frying this until the rice is a little crisp. At this point, I'm gonna give it a little taste, see if it needs any more salt or soy. I think it just needs a hint of salt. And if you can see, the edges of some of the rice are nice and crisp. It's sufficiently moistened, it's kind of glistening. Everything's well incorporated. There's no pockets of seasoning in one spot. It's all homogeneous and all the same color. I'm gonna add the rest of our mix-ins. So, bell peppers, scallion greens, and the egg. The bell peppers and eggs probably cooled off a bit, so just stir it up until everything is hot, and then kill the heat and serve immediately. You wanna go from pan to plate to face to stomach.
Give it a little bit. Big smile. Okay, big smile, you just tilt your head.
Let's give it a go. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Rice is perfectly seasoned. There's a little bit of crisp on the outside, but it's not like so overcooked that it's like crisp and crunchy all the way through. You don't want that in a fried rice. You still want the rice to maintain its like chewy integrity on the inside with just a little bit of crisp on the outside. Chicken, really deep flavor, perfectly cooked. That egg, it still tastes like a delicate omelet, and since we added it again right at the very end and just incorporated it, it didn't have a chance to get hammered at all. The little bit of char on the bell pepper makes it almost a little bit smoky. I mean, it's fried rice. What's not to love about fried rice? You know what fried rice tastes like. And this is just a very, very good one. Anything else I should add? You can find this recipe and many others on NYT Cooking.